get a good feeling, yeah.
What is copyright exactly? Well, copyright, according to the Canadian copyright laws, copyright is the bundle of rights derived by statute, giving the copyright owner the exclusive right to do various things with a work. These rights are prescribed under Section 3, Article 1 of the Canadian Copyright Act. If copyright was partially created in order to protect intellectual property, then why is it in today's world we still have figures in the legal system that still think this way? It states, only in prosecuting samplers will the true creativity be spawned and true genius discovered. Corporate commercial lawyer Stephen Wilson states sampling is the process of digital copying a portion of a pre-existing recording and inserting the sample into a new recording. Sampling is also stated as the following. Sampling makes it possible to modify a work, mix different works or performances, or use small pieces of the content to create or compose a completely new work, perhaps a multimedia product.
Music copyright laws as they stand can theoretically take down a new generation of electronic music. Grammy-nominated dubstep artists such as Skrillex, also known as Sonny John Moore, an international hip-hop mashup artist called Girl Talk, also known as Greg Gillis, both take pride in their unique creations that incorporate pre-recorded music from other artists. But having copyright laws overstep fair use clauses in music sampling, it jeopardizes the aspects of music genres who use music sampling.
In the study, The Day the Digital Music Died, Bridgeport, Sampling Infringement, and a Proposed Middle Ground, this article highlights the 2004 case of DJ Danger Mouse and how he sampled the Beatles' White Album and transformed the music into a hip-hop album. Danger Mouse singled out the music and correlated it with Jay-Z's Acapella album. The sound, although coming from the White Album, DJ Danger Mouse made it seem like the Beatles were the backup band playing for Jay-Z. Although not creating the album for fame or popularity, Danger Mouse quickly started receiving great reviews and selling 3,000 copies in the first few weeks. With much success came the response of EMI, the record company that owns the rights to the Beatles. This quick attempt at seizing further CD sales by EMI started a resistance in the online community. Since EMI was destroying all physical copies of the Grey Album, over 170 websites started hosting the MP3. The album was later downloaded from peer-to-peer websites and brought to the creation of similar type music. This album to this day is still illegal, but it can still be downloaded in many areas of the internet. Here are the thoughts of intellectual property professor Dr. E. Michael Harrington, copyright expert, on copyright and music sampling.
That if you want to sample, get a license, and which was a really preposterous decision, because what if you want to take 1/100th of a second, a half a second, whatever you want to take. What if you want to just take that music and then transform it? What if you changed the pitch? You lowered it so much, you raised it so much, you did the sound backwards. What if you wanted to do that? Why? You wouldn't even recognize it. It's just a building block. Mm-hmm. It's like you're taking some Play-Doh or something and creating a shape from it. You're taking something that's there, but you've changed it so much. Why can't you do that? Sampling should be an easier, normal thing to do. Mm-hmm. It should be made easier, it should be encouraged.
And why isn't it encouraged? And why isn't it made easy? There are a couple elements according to the code best practices and fair use. list of what we should consider when sampling something. Did the unlicensed use transform the material taken from the copyrighted work by using it for a different purpose than that of the original? Or did it just repeat the work for the same intent and value as the original? Second, was the material taken appropriate in kind and amount, considering the nature of the copyrighted work and of the use? Girl Talk's material is composed solely of sampled music. Now, having that said, one could assume that this creation would mirror the original, but Girl Talk's creative mixing technique allows it to be heard in a way that it's never been heard before. He does not get a license for any of his samples, mainly because in one song he can have anywhere from 40 samples and counting.
Can we get to this heavy shit right now? Can we do this? Come on, man!
David S. Blessing, who wrote Who Speaks Latin Anymore?, translating de minimis use for application to music copyright infringement and sampling, wrote, digital music sampling is the practice of using previous sound recordings to create new music. This process provides an inexpensive avenue for an artist to produce distinctive new sounds and offers a sound that may already have proven appeal with the public. Digital music sampling is a process that consists of 3 steps: digital recording, computer sound analysis, and playback. Nicholas B. Lewis wrote, the courts created the fair use defense to copyright infringement actions, and Congress eventually codified it within the Copyright Act.
In examining the elements of fair use clause and copyright laws, along with the aspect of music sampling, we have seen that these laws were partly created to encourage originality and creative work in the music industry. However, it is realized that in electronica, we can have unique creations which highlight the work of other music artists.